Okay. So we are here. Wait, I just want to make sure everyone's muted. I think there. To talk about the Ruby chart. So over the weekend, I had suggested you guys print off those Ruby charts so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even if, you've been in this business for a while, I think a Ruby chart is such a great thing to focus on, because even if it's helping other people in your downline get to Ruby, rubies make diamonds, and diamonds make doubles, and that doubles make triples, and so on and so forth. So Ruby is such a good pinpoint because it's in every promotion. So focusing on getting yourself to Ruby, focus on helping your team to get to Ruby. It's such a good kind of spot to start on, because again, it makes the higher ranks up. So I'm just going to go over the basic stuff to start with a Ruby chart. So what is the Ruby chart? You're probably looking at it right now, and you're seeing 3 people, 3 lines across, 2 underneath, and wondering, what does all this mean? So for the Ruby chart, the first 3 people are going to be people that are directly under you. Then with the next 2 people under one of those people, that could be distributors that you sign, or it could be distributors that somebody in your team has signed. So that's a fun thing to kind of know. But it could also be a group of 5 people that you have signed, and you have placed 2 of your distributors under somebody. So this is kind of when people sort of said, maybe I'll sign up my partner, and then my partner will get those next 2 distributors that I sign. And that's how people sort of start to build a family as well. Sorry, just making sure we mute everybody. So yeah, those are sort of ways to build to Ruby. Then you're kind of looking at it, and you might see underneath of it 400 GV, and that is just in certain boxes. And for that, it means that those people each need what's called 400 group volume. Group volume is going to come from your orders that, group volume might come from that person's orders that they have placed for products for themselves. And it could also come from customers that they have signed. So that's where that GV comes from. And then your leadership spots, which in a Ruby chart is yourself and an executive, both need to be commission qualified for that month to hit a new promotion. So how do you get commission qualified? 150 PBV, or 80 BV auto shipment. So 80 BV auto shipment is products that you're purchasing yourself. That 150 might be a mix-up of products that you've bought for yourself, and it might be of customers. So the whole point is, when you're looking at the Ruby chart, you're wanting to think, okay, that's 5 people that you want to sign up to join this business to help make that extra income. Like I said, it could be people that you sign up, or it could be people that your team signs up with those 2 spots underneath. And then the nice focus is, once you get that Ruby chart filled out, you want to just focus on to kind of, you're like, oh my gosh, 400 GV, that seems like so much. But in reality, that's 8 wrap customers. And that seems simple enough. When you can just give your focus, obviously it can be a mix of people. It doesn't have to all be wrap customers. But when you're giving those people in that 400 spots a goal, being like, okay, your job is to sign 8 wrap customers, and then counting that down with them. Or you might mix it up for them and say, okay, sign 2 for hair, skin, and nails, and on like that. But I think when you're working with these people in that 400 group volume spot, when you really focus in on exactly what they need to hit that 400 group volume, and you're giving them those specific goals, I think it really makes it easier for them to kind of go after it. Then, of course, as you are the Ruby leader, you have the option to also, like I said earlier, you have the option to place your distributors. You have that option as well to place your loyal customers. So my goal is, if I'm going Ruby, I'm running an auto shipment. I'm running that 80 BV auto shipment. I'm getting myself paid no matter what. All of those loyal customers that are coming in, I'm placing them. I'm giving them to teammates for two reasons, obviously. So number one reason, when you roll a distributor, you're going to get $100 bonus for them getting fast start qualified in their first 30 days. So you might be wondering what fast start qualified means. So fast start qualified means that they're earning that 150 PBV in their first 30 days, or they're running an auto shipment of 80 BV and getting their first 2 loyal customers. So my job as your leader is to help you get to that. so that you can become fast start qualified in your first 30 days. And then I'm going to earn that $100 bonus. So you as that leader are going to start doing that for your team as well. The second reason to place loyal customers is because it's going to help you promote. So when you're looking at a Ruby chart, it is your job as the leader to complete that chart. Yes, people are going to enroll. Yes, you're going to push those, those 400 GB spots to get those 8 wrap customers. Yes, you're going to push one of your distributors to get those 2 distributors to start growing their team as well. But when you're looking at your Ruby chart, it is your job to get it filled. So when you are getting those loyal customers, in my eyes, I'm placing them because I want to hit my promotion. I'm running towards my promotion, and I know it is my job to get it done. So I'm placing everywhere. So first is I'm focusing on those $100 bonuses. So I'm placing where I need to get those $100 bonuses, and then the next comes up that you're going to be placing to promote. And it gets your teammates excited because, they're getting something out of it too. You're not just focusing on yourself. You're worrying about, getting them faster qualified, helping them to get to 400 GB, which is also going to get them a better paycheck. And then they get excited. And then when they get a team, you're going to teach them to do the exact same thing. Just want to make sure I covered all of it. You don't have to enroll, placing LCs, helping to promote. Okay, so now we've kind of figured out that's the Ruby chart. So your goal is, if you haven't hit Ruby yet, that you want to have this Ruby chart in front of you wherever you go. Every time you're talking to someone, say, I'm filling out my Ruby chart. That's going to help make an extra $500 a month. Are you interested to make an extra $500 a month? Talk to people about this. Count down spots. Post about it. I've got, 5 spots in my Ruby chart. People don't know what a Ruby chart is. I've got 3 spots left in my Ruby chart. Oh, one just got taken. Or I've been so busy talking to people about this Ruby chart. I'm so excited. I'm helping people on my team go Ruby. That's an extra $500. And then sharing what that $500 does for you. So if you haven't gone Ruby, you're going Ruby. And if you've already gone Ruby, your job is to now help your teammates to go Ruby. So the next step is, you're kind of probably wondering, okay, well, how do I sign these distributors? How do I sign these loyal customers? So you want to be posting and you want to be messaging. Those two come hand in hand. You cannot just be posting and think that people are going to come to you. They're not going to come to you all of the time. Yes, people reach out and they'll message you and be like, hey, I'm interested in this because you've been posting. But if you're messaging and you're not posting, people don't know what you're posting about, because a lot of the time when you message them, they go back to your page to see what you're about. So if you have been posting, then they're like, I don't know what she does. This just seems like a scam message coming through. But if you're only posting and you're not messaging, that you're not reaching out to people. So make sure you're doing both. Who do you message? You're going to message people who have liked your pictures. And I'm talking about, I was on a Zoom. I mentioned in the chat, I was on a Zoom with a top leader, and she just said, I'm messaging people. She goes, when I message people on my Instagram and like my pictures, I'm going to people that have liked everyday pictures, because I know if they've liked my everyday pictures, they're liking my feed. And it's so true. I was like, oh my gosh, I never even thought of that, because we're so focused on always messaging those that like our It Works pictures. But even for myself, the likes to my It Works pictures are less than the likes on my everyday pictures. But if they're liking my everyday pictures, then they're obviously interested in what I do. So use that opportunity to reach out to them. So you're messaging those to like your pictures, those watching your stories. Oh, and that's another thing where it's going to add in. So where are you posting? You're posting to Facebook, you're posting to Instagram, and you're posting to your stories on both of those. And when I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. When you're posting, you want to make sure you're doing product post, business post, fillers, and about your day, because you don't want your page to turn into a business page. No one wants to follow somebody who just strictly does business. They want to follow real people. So when you're posting stuff, think of, what you're eating, what you're doing, things that happened in the day, things that your kid might have said that was funny, something that happened at work that you thought was funny, or, when you're doing the product post the business post, you want to also remember, and I say it in the chat a lot as well, remember you might not be there right now, but where are you going with it? Majority of people are in the same spot that, everyone starts in. They're at work. So you want to say, I'm sitting at work, but I'm so excited to have my hands in this opportunity. This is what it's going to do. The feel, felt, found. When you connect to all of those feelings, people connect to that. People want to see what this company is doing for you. And when you share that constantly on your time feed and talking about, you know, being inspired and going somewhere and not wasting the days away anymore and taking control of your life, people are like, I want to be a part of that. I want to learn more. Get me involved in this. So making sure that you're getting really deep in your business post. Because if you're not pulling out your emotions, and if you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I could cry if I read this, then you're not getting deep enough and people aren't able to connect to you. So really share your why, talk about it, and share exactly what this business is doing for you. I actually had, maybe I didn't have it written down here. A good way to kind of figure out post, I got this off, Jade Hooper did a training or whatever. And so you're going to write down 20 things you would do with $200. 20 things you would do with $200. Then you're going to write down 20 things you would do with $800. Then you're going to write down 20 things you would do with $1,500. These are 60 different posts that you can come up with. People can connect to that. They cannot connect to making $10,000 a month. They cannot connect to making $30,000 a month. They cannot connect to that. But when you say, I make $200 and what's that going to buy me? It's going to buy me groceries. It's going to help me pay for my gas. It's going to help me pay for diapers and wipes and new clothes and a date night. Whatever it may be, people can connect to that. So if you're having a hard time figuring out what to write down, you know, use those posts and share and, right from there, like I said, 60 different posts that you can be doing. And then another way she said to kind of to do posts, because when you're talking to people, a lot of the times they have fears, right? They're like, I'm scared to join because I don't know enough people, or I'm scared to join because I'm not a salesperson. So you're going to write a list down of things that kind of held you back from joining this business. And then there is more things to post about. So you can be like, oh my gosh, it's been such a crazy day. I was talking to someone today and, you know, she told me that her big fear in joining was that she was really shy. And it was crazy to me because that's how I felt in the beginning of this business as well. Before joining, I was shy. I didn't really, know how to talk to people. I was nervous about that. But then I found out that after joining this business, and you're going into those details. So again, there's a whole bunch of more posts to talk about, because then when people are watching, they're like, oh my gosh, I felt that way too. And you might get people that message you and say, you know, I'm really worried about this as well. Or you made this post and I just want to say, like, I really connect to that, but I've been interested in the business. So kind of just sharing that, opening up your heart. People really, really attract to that kind of stuff. So next up, so we're posting and then back to who we're messaging. Those who are watching you. So again, this kind of connects to when I said about the stories. So you'll notice that people who watch your stories aren't always people who are liking your post. So if they have watched your story, I like to engage with them, being like, hey, I see you. How are you? Like, I see you there. And just sort of kind of just reach out and message them. And it might be sometimes about it work stuff. And you might be like, hey, I've seen your newsfeed a few times and I think you're really, really good at what I do. Are you interested to learn more? Anything like that. It might not even be works related, but just sort of messaging people, getting yourself out there, making a connection, building those relationships. People buy people. So when you're putting yourself out there, then that's what's going to help with those relationships, help with that trust. And people are going to be like, you know what, she really stuck out to me because she did this. And then once you start to sign people, you can also ask your loyal customers for referrals, which is a great way. Like, hey, would you mind making a post for me on your social media because you loved hair, skin, and nails, and and tag me in the post. Then you might also do host a post. So you're messaging people through Facebook and asking them to host a post for you. So you would literally just be like, hey, I have a quick question. And then they might be like, what's up? And then you'd be like, do you mind making a post for me? And off of the people that I sign from it, I would send you free product, that kind of stuff. Then once you start signing people as well, those loyal customers, so you've gotten the referral from them. And then you might also start talking to those loyal customers about becoming distributors, because you're going to say, like, you're loving this product. Are you interested to now sign up to be a distributor? So now it kind of comes into tie of, okay, what do I say to these people? And I think this can be the scariest part because you want to make sure, and especially when you're starting your business out, or even when you've been in it for a while, like I've been almost in 4 years and I still will message my silence and be like, oh my gosh, what are you saying these days? Or how would you reply to this? Because it's good to get new ideas. It's good to figure out how people are talking to them. And you want to always be growing in this business. It's important to always be growing. So kind of when you're talking to someone, you want to kind of just take it slow. Like when you're having a conversation with somebody, you're back and forth. And one of the tips, I can't remember where I got it from, but they had just said, think about it like when you're on a date. So when you're on a date, like you're probably not going to say like LOL to somebody. You'd be like LOL. And then you wouldn't just leave it, right? You would engage in the conversation. So always making sure that you're just going back and forth. And when you're on a date, you wouldn't want to say too much about yourself. You would want to ask the person questions, get to know them. So do that in your conversations. Don't just make it, I'm trying to rush the sale. Let's go get your order and here we go. Take your time with it. I'm wondering if I have anything that I can quickly pull up. But I remember one of the customers I signed yesterday, she was telling me about how she turned vegan. So we just sort of started talking about it, and I connected on how I watched the documentary on Netflix, and just sort of having that conversation is so important. Get to know them, get to know what their goals are, because it means that much more. And then when you're talking to them, you want to make sure that you're keeping it brief, I guess would be the best word. So just sort of saying the information that they're asking, because a lot of the time we can just word vomit. And one of the greatest things I heard on another Zoom was, if you say too much, if you confuse somebody, or what was it? Confuse people, always say no. So if you just like overwhelm them with all this information, they're confused and you're like, I can't even do this right now. And it's funny because it literally happened to me the other day when this person messaged on made a post on my, I asked about, who, and this is sort of an engagement post as well. What do you use to wash your cloth diapers with? Because that's what we're transitioning to. And people had commented about what they used. And then one of the women had commented about her company and what she did. And when I messaged her, like, it was like a whole message like this. And I was like, I'm lost. Like, it was like, I had no interest to even read it all because I was so confused. I was like, whoa, you're just throwing all your business onto me. This isn't like a business, like you're not building a relationship right now. And then it's a turnoff. And then I didn't even reply to her, and she added me to a group. And I was like, you didn't get my permission to add me to that group. And it just reminded me that when you're in this business, you want to make, your back and forth short. Don't throw all this information, because confused people just run. And I'm like, she messaged me to like, hey, I'm just checking in on you. And I was like, I haven't even read the message because I'm so confused. And so you want to make sure you're going back and forth, and just simply saying, and if you're like, I don't know what to say, what should I say? Message your upline, message me, and just be like, send the message directly to your upline, directly to me if you want, and say, how do I reply? This is the message. I will literally send you a message exactly on what to say back. And I will do that, back and forth with a little bit for you to help get that hang of, okay, this is what I say, or this is how I talk. Because you just want to keep it relaxed, and people on the other end feel that, right? They really are feeling what your vibes are. And when you're relaxed about it and just like giving them the knowledge and being excited for them, using emojis, getting funny, like some people, if I build a good relationship with them, like I laugh and I joke and I say funny things, or I'll send them voice clips like, I see you, like, why aren't you replying to me? That kind of stuff. But it's because in the beginning, I built that type of relationship. So those follow-ups aren't always awkward because we've built such a good relationship to begin with. So you're kind of going through the process. You're talking to someone, you're excited about it, and now they said, okay, I want to order. And you're like, this is something you don't want to do. Here goes my baby. You don't want to just send all this, okay, this is so exciting. Here's my website. This is what you do. Take your time. You're going to say, okay, great. I'm so excited to get your order in. I'm placing some right now. Do you want to get yours in as well? I might have scared him. That's when you're going to say, and then they're gonna say, yeah, I'm so excited to get my order in. Can I get the website? You can say two things. You can say, great, I'll take all your information. Sorry, one sec. Come here. What a baby. You can say two things. You can say, great, I can take all of your information and I'm going to place your order. Or you can make the offer of, I can walk you through my website to get this 40% off. So I know some people really just love, oh, what's the matter? I know. Sorry, guys. Really just love getting their order in because it's a control thing, I think. And it's nice for people on the other end because most people are busy. So when you can just say, hey, this is the information I need. This is how we get it in. They're like, great, awesome. I saved so much time. Thank you for getting that order in. And then when you do that, I'll usually just sort of walk through the process and say, okay, this is the final order. Are you okay for me to process this? Then, and you know, sometimes we're nervous because people are giving out their credit card information, and we're like, oh, people aren't going to want to do that. But you'll be surprised about how many people do it. And then, of course, it's funny enough, when I was ordering off somebody else in a different company, I was like, yep, here's my credit card information, because it's just sort of some type of trust because they're in this business industry. So just sort of put it out there and give people that option because they do like it to help them save time. Or if you're walking them through the process, what I do personally is I will always say, can I text you my link? Because that's great. Another way to follow up with them. You got their number. And then from there, what I will do is I go to my my link on my phone, say they're ordering greens. I go to shop, I go to greens, I click which greens they want. And then when I'm sending them the link, I send them that directly so that when they open up that page, it's bringing them right to the green section. Then I say, all you have to do is click add to cart, check out, click the first green button, and follow the steps to create an account. Boom, nice and easy. They're not they're not all over the website. They're not all crazy. And then, I'm gonna go back and see. And then, after within honestly, I'm on it like a hawk. Within 2 to 4 minutes of me sending that website, I'm following up with them. Like, hey, how's it going? How are things? Did you get the order in? Is everything okay on the website? Because you want to be there for them. And sometimes you get like, oh, I'm so sorry. My kid's gone crazy, or something happened, or my kid's crying, or I just have to run out. Or sometimes you'll get like, oh yeah, I don't have my credit card. And you're like, well, I just asked you if you're ready to order, and you told me yes. So now you're going crazy on the other end. But that's okay. You're going to say, okay, that's no worries. What time works for you? Because I want to make sure that I can walk you through this process to get that 40% off. Just don't be scared to get those follow-up times, because when you're putting it out there, just make it, I want to be there for you. I had one girl yesterday, and I sent her my link. She told me she was ready to order. I sent her my link, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, sorry, I don't have internet. I'm in the car. And I was like, how is this data going through? Like I was sending her messages on iMessage. I was like, data's going through. This is weird. But whatever. I was like, no worries. Like, what time works for you then? So she's like, I'll become around this time. I was like, great. I'm Eastern time. Is that the same time zone you are? And I'm like to the T. Like, I ask these questions because I want to make sure that when I'm messaging these people, like, I know the time, they know the time, and they're ready and I'm ready. So she set a time, and then I messaged her, and I was just like, hey, and I was getting antsy because she wasn't replying to me. And I was just like, hey, I'm going up for dinner. I just wanted to make sure that I had the correct time because I want to make sure I'm available for you, and I'm not up for dinner. I don't have my phone. And she was, even though I do have my phone on me. And then she was just like, yeah, she didn't reply back to me, but that was okay. And then she messaged me and was like, hey, I'm home now, and if not tomorrow, da-da-da. And then I just kept walking her through it. I was like, hey, did you get your order in? How are things going? And she was just like, yeah, I haven't done it yet. And I was like, okay, are you still planning to get your order in tonight? Just like being on top of her. And again, you're doing it because you want to make sure that when they walk it through it, that they're doing it correct, that they're clicking the right buttons, because it happens. People don't click the right buttons. They're confused when they get to the site. So just sort of being there, and again, making it about them makes such a big difference. So that's sort of saying what to say. So don't say too much. Don't word vomit. Take your time. Act like it's a date. Get to know the person. You might share a few things about yourself. And then the important thing on how to get to Ruby. It all starts in your mind, okay? And this goes really for any promotion. Doesn't matter where you're going. You can be going executive, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, all of the above, all the way to ambassador. It all starts within your mind. So you have to believe in yourself. When you're going to make claim to getting Ruby, when you're going to make claim to helping people on your team go Ruby, it starts within your mind. So it's important to get that Ruby chart out, like I said earlier, and have it everywhere you go, so that when you're signing people, you're counting down, you're marking things off, you're getting pumped up, you're crossing off boxes, you're filling in names, you're signing those loyal customers. That person that had needed 7 now, or needed 8 loyal customers for reps, now only needs 6. You're getting excited about it. And you always have that Ruby chart wherever you're going, because you're reminding yourself, I'm going Ruby, I'm helping teammates go Ruby, I'm helping teammates go Ruby. Get excited about it. The next thing you want to do is, don't be scared to be loud about it, because being loud about it is going to send that energy out there to the universe. And I'm a big believer in the universe and watching The Secret, because it's just mind-changing, because what goes on in here is projected into your life. So it's so important that you're taking the time to manifest all of these good things. So I write it on my mirrors, because that's where you are a lot of the time. So it's so important to have things on your mirrors where you're constantly looking. So right now on my mirror, if I look up, some of the things I have on my mirror says, I'm worthy, I'm strong, I'm brave, I'm made for more. I've got thank you, universe, happy, confident, I can do hard things. And then all of these other goals. And it's just when you put it out there and really project it, that's what's going to help things to come true. So another great thing is, you could always team up with people in our chat and just be like, hey, what rank are you going to? Do you want to team up? Do you want to keep each other accountable? Because when you have that, I feel like it's really good, and it's good to bounce ideas off of each other, and to be like, hey, I signed a little customer today. What did you do today? Or I posted today. How did your posting go? That kind of stuff. You just have to really believe in your heart that you can make it happen. Believe in your mind. And yes, of course, you're going to start to have days where you're like going this way and you're doubting yourself, but bring yourself back. That's when you're going to message that person that you've teamed up with. That's when you might message your upline. That might be when you write things down on paper of all of your fears and then go burn it. Really pay attention to when the doubt starts to come in, and before you allow it to control you and to eat you alive, do something about it. And the biggest thing is, some people are like scared to say their fears out loud, because of course we don't want to manifest more fears. But what's important, it's important to get your fears off of your chest. So right now after this call, get those fears, write them down, and then go burn them. Burn them down, get rid of them, feel them leaving your body, and then look at that Ruby chart and just say, I am going Ruby. So your focus should be getting at least charted to Ruby before conference. Because like I said earlier in this call, rubies make diamonds. And if you are not a diamond leader, your goal for conference is to get to diamond. So if you can chart yourself for Ruby now, when it comes times, you're going to have a team of 5 people, and you're going to help that team become rubies. And if you can help that team become rubies, that's going to make you a diamond. And it's absolutely incredible. So you want to make sure you are messaging every single person you know. Think about people that need this business. Think about cousins. Think about friends. Think about family that might want to sign up and join this business because they need it. And you're just going to message them and be like, oh my gosh, maybe they think it's weird, and you might say that. Like, I know you're really skeptical about this business, but I have to reach out to you because something big is coming. We've got our conference coming next month. I'm going for a rank that's going to earn an extra $500 a month. I know that could help you. Like, don't be scared to stick yourself out there. And then those people are going to watch you. So even if they might not reply to you, even if they don't say yes right away, they're going to start to watch your page, and you're going to be posting about, 20 things that we're not going to say 20 things, but you're going to have a list of 20 different things that's helping you, 20 things that you would do with $500, and you're going to be, or $200, and you're going to be talking about that. So those people that might have said no or didn't really reply, they're going to be watching you. They're going to be excited about it, and they're going to want to join you. So make sure the more people you message for now and to getting to conference and to charting yourself to Ruby and then helping those people get Ruby, the more people you message right now is going to make a huge impact on that Ruby chart and on that diamond chart and come conference time. So be sure to get out there, talk to as many people as you can. Every person that replies to you, write their name down on a 100 list. I've had such a hard time with keeping myself organized and writing people down that I finally was like, I need to write things down because this is not getting me anywhere. It's not helping me to not write them down, because I've used that time before to make a relationship with them, to connect with them. And if you don't write that name down, you've just wasted all of that time, because the follow-up is what's important. It's important to be following up with them. So now that I'm literally just messaging everybody and anybody on my Instagram and building relationships and putting myself out there, I'm coming across messages that their names got missed. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, girl, your message got, so, I'm looking at things and I noticed that your order didn't get through. And I'm so excited for you to try these screens. Are you interested? Are you still interested? Let's get your order. And then I'm building those relationships back. And I'm writing their names down. It's so important. Do not spend that time, like I said, building that connection with somebody and, building a relationship and then not writing their names down. Anybody you talk to needs to go on that 100th list. Have 3 different lists. Have a list of people you're building relationships with, people that are potential distributors, and people that are potential customers. So that usually on Fridays, for Follow-Up Friday, I go through my list, and that's the days I reconnect with the people that I've written down. It's the days that I use to follow up with them. And if I'm not following up with them directly because they've given me a different date, I'm building the relationship. How do you build relationships? You're going to comment, you're going to like, you're going to message them, and just being consistent. Some of the great things is getting people on the phone. Don't be scared. Pick up the phone. Push yourself outside of that comfort zone and call people. Because if you just call somebody and you have a 10-minute conversation with them, you just saved probably 2 weeks of going back and forth on messages. Instead of waiting 2 weeks to sign them, after that 10-minute conversation where you were excited and you were nervous and you probably stumbled your words, but they didn't notice, they're going to be like, I'm so excited. You're so excited. Let's sign me up right now. So get yourself out of that comfort zone. Diamonds aren't made by not stepping outside of their comfort zone. It's key to step outside of your comfort zone to get yourself further in this business. I always think back on my very first video I made as a team, and it's like, oh my gosh, I was so quiet. I'm totally not who I am today, but I've just grown every day. Take a step to grow a little bigger, Yes, you're going to be scared. Yes, you're going to be nervous. Yes, you might fumble your words a few times. And I do it all the time. And when corporate does it, they don't even pay attention to it. It's just part of, it's part of humans. That's what we do. We're not supposed to be perfect. So the more you just put yourself out there and show people who you are, and you're excited about stuff and you're kind to others, and sometimes it's scary to get on the phone, or I've done FaceTimes, and one of the girls is on here right now. And I was like, we FaceTime each other, and I had totally forgot that I look like this. And I was like, well, this is my mom look. And she was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, well, here we go. But we were able to just connect on a different level because we were face to face. Yes, we were in totally different time zones and, across the world. But because we were able to connect on FaceTime, it makes a difference in your business. When you pick up the phone and call somebody, it's a totally different conversation. And like I said, you're saving 2 weeks. So get over those fears, message those potentials that you've been talking to and those distributors, and just say, like, can we get a conversation? If they're local, let's say, let's get coffee. Let's talk over your fears. I can show you, I can get you on the team page as soon as you're signed up. We can walk through everything. I'm going to be here for you. I support you. I'm so excited to help you achieve your goals. It just makes all the difference. And yes, it's scary. It's supposed to be scary. And when you get to further ranks, it's going to be scary because you're doing something new. But that's the point of this business. You're constantly growing. You're constantly learning new things, and you're excited about it. So I think we're almost at the time up. I've got 40 minutes. So I hope that's kind of helped you guys, just talking about Ruby. And if you are Ruby, you're helping your teammates go Ruby. And if you haven't promoted to Ruby, focus on that. Get excited about it. Get that chart in front of you and just believe in yourself. Everybody that's promoted to Ruby, that's where I started as well. I had to start as a distributor and I had to work my way up. So don't think, well, I can't do that because that's 5 people and I don't know 5 people. Trust me, I didn't know 5 people either. I was not on social media. I had a Facebook. I used to have a Facebook, or I used to creep through my cousin's Facebook just to creep on Facebook. Then I finally got my own Facebook, and I literally just never posted. And then for Instagram, I started from the very bottom. I started a new Instagram account because my other Instagram account, I had nothing really on it. And so I started fresh, and I've just been working hard to build that up. So I didn't know the people in my Ruby chart. I don't remember what my Ruby chart looks like, but I know I didn't know the people. They were, it was just believing in myself. It's just believing in yourself, putting it out there, removing the doubt, speak the fears out loud, burn them like I said tonight, and then look at that Ruby chart and just hold it in your hand. And I want you to visualize what it's going to feel like when eSuite turns to Ruby, or when eSuite turns to Ruby for your teammates, and they're excited and you're waiting, and all your orders are in. That's what I want you to visualize. All orders are in and you're just waiting, and you're clicking your eSuite refresh. How are you going to feel when that rank changed to Ruby? Like really connect yourself, because the more you get deep, the more you talk about it. And like I sort of said the other day when I said, share how you're going to feel when that rank changes to what you want it to be. And then I hope what you did is you copy and pasted that and saved it to your phone, so that any time that fear, creeps in, or doubt creeps in, or you're nervous about something, you can go back to exactly what you wrote in that time of excitement, and you can read it, and you can feel those goosebumps resurfacing on your skin, and you can feel that excitement back into your heart and in your mind and in your passion, and know exactly where you're going. This business is like, I don't even have words for this business, because it's so out of here, right? Like when I first started this company, I was like, this is so fake. This is not real. Like it took me 2.5 months to join. But as soon as I joined, I was like, I've got my hands on something so big, and I'm not going to let it go. So when I kept thinking about how I was going to work my business, I just kept focusing on believing in myself. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I'm going. I'm listening to people who are telling me to. I'm making posts. I'm messaging people. I'm putting myself out there. And I didn't know how it was going to all fall into place. I didn't know how I was going to build my team to become a presidential leader. I didn't know what, all of those things. But what was important is that I believed in myself, and I put myself out there, and I was like, I'm going to feel the fear, and I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to break free. I'm going to push myself, be excited about it. And what's awesome is, like, yes, we work our business for ourselves, but we're never alone. Look at all these people on the call tonight. Look at our team chat. Look at all the other It Works distributors that you follow. Conferences coming up. We're going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that have the exact same goals as us. And what I always love is the top 100 income earners in our company are so different. So there's never like, well, I don't look like her. I don't act like her. I don't do those things, because it's simply anybody can do this. You just have to be focused. You have to be excited, and just constantly moving forward, because as long as you're moving forward and you're excited about it and you believe in it, it can totally happen for you. So I'm so excited to hear, you guys talking about, I signed a distributor, I'm almost to Ruby, and just really, really focusing in that. So you've got burning fears tonight, get that Ruby chart, copy and paste that message in our team page. If you haven't already, save it to your phone, and dig yourself deep. Be excited about it. I totally believe in you guys. I'm no one special. I'm just like you. All it takes is determination, focusing in, and I know you guys can do it. So I hope you guys are having a great night. Let's get off and sign distributors, and get you charted for Ruby. Bye, guys.